Pascal had commented on the brass before today, saying, "Oh wow, brass, great arranging on the brass, David." And I was listening to it this morning, and I'm like, "Can you do better than that?" And I was like, "Be honest with yourself." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can. There's no baritone sax in there, and you got to solve all the problems of the world." So I decided to put baritone sax in.
Hello and welcome to the Crazy Angels podcast with Pascal Dennis and David Logan. Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Today we want to talk about the song No Matter What You Do from the upcoming new project. And let's start with listening to a small snippet of this song. David, can you play us a bit of the song?
Yeah. Sure, here we go.
For me, spent my younger days seeking shelter. Without your love, I would be helter-skelter. Seemingly a quiet life eludes me, but in your gentle life, nothing can delude me. And if one lonely day you're up and walked away,
taste for you.
Awesome.
Maestro, you are the boss of the brass in general, but especially of the baritone sax. What horn lines?
Well, I've always said this, that all the problems, all the chaos in the world can be solved if we just do one thing: feature the baritone sax more. And if we can do that, all your problems will go away. Just more baritone sax. That's it.
That's the answer. Damn it! I knew it.
Why didn't anyone think of that before? Oh, right.
Broadcast.
Barry Gordy did in the 1960s. Right. Okay. Never mind.
Well,
broadcast it on all the channels. Baritone sax is the answer.
Speaking of this topic, Pascal, I want to ask you what was the inspiration for this song? What kind of style and theme did you have in mind for this song?
Well, the most fundamental level, it's a love song to my dear wife Pamela, and it's a song of loyalty and faith between men and women, and all the beauty that provides. And the feeling I was seeking was the wonderful, bright pop music of the 1970s when I was a little kid. And in the summer, we'd hang out at Christos Pool Hall, Danforth Avenue, this pretty neighborhood I grew up in. And I remember those summer afternoons, and the sun would pour in through the big window on the street. And Christos was very kind. He'd let us hang out there as long as we, took out the garbage and cleaned up and re-racked the pool balls so we could play pool for free and play, pinball. And this music would just pour out of the speakers. So, Tom Jones, She's a Lady, and What's New Pussycat, and It's Not Unusual, and Van Morrison, Brown Eyed Girl, and Domino, and The Bright Side of the Road, and then all the wonderful Motown artists, the Four Tops, the Temps, everything, all the rest. Ain't Too Proud to Beg, When She Was My Girl, The Sun Ain't Gonna Shine Anymore. That bright, optimistic, hopeful, wonderful, just ocean of sound coming at me, and I wanted to recreate that feeling. And luckily, the maestro is, as I said, the boss of the brass, and has created this magnificent arrangement. Now, pass the baton to you, maestro.
I mean, yeah, this was, Pascal didn't give me a specific directive to focus on brass, but Actually, I was telling him before we started that I'm on the what's called the polishing pass, where you finish an album and then you go back and you listen again. And you know, Pascal had commented on the brass before today, saying, "Oh wow, brass, great arranging on the brass, David." And I was listening to it this morning, and I'm like, "Can you do better than that?" And I was like, "Be honest with yourself." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can. There's no baritone sax in there, and you got to solve all the problems of the world." So I decided to put baritone sax in. And you know what? I mean, I think it's about helping Pascal meet the full song's potential, and we had talked about this, like some of the greats, of like Tom
Yeah.
Jones. And he was sort of thinking that and feeling that, but he also talked about Berry Gordy and Motown, and
Yeah.
so naturally I felt that was really well suited to horns. And whenever I work on an arrangement, I kind of think about like who do I want to work with, if it's going to be Davide Sambrota, or Riccardo Ricci, or in this case Giulio Rostacelli. And Rostatelli, excuse me. I'm pronouncing last names in Italy. It's because they have double consonants, and if you don't do that, the telli, it means something else. So anyway, so I decided it's true. No, it's true.
What'd
I
you
found this
say?
out.
No.
It's
I found this out the
true.
hard way. So because anno is a year in Italian, it has two N's. But if you say it with one N, which is anno,
Uh-oh.
it means something not very nice.
So if you ask an Italian how old are you, you say how many years do you have? So
Right,
Mm.
right,
you
exactly.
can
If you say how old are you, quanti anni. If you say quanti anni, it means how many assholes do you have? I'm not even
That's a bit
joking.
of a poser. Yeah.
You
it's
know.
pretty
So, and
personal
then
question.
if I say oh 50 anni, it means I have 50 assholes. So that's why I'm pronouncing his name with that extra. All right. Anyway, so I decided to work with Giulio on this. For his guitar playing and his bass skills, especially. But yeah, I wanted to sort of make the horn arrangement really special. And I'm sure I've shown this before on our podcast, but I have this amazing device, which is a breath controller. So it allows me to blow air and actually bring the brass to life, because sometimes I need, for certain kinds of songs, I'll go with Jeffrey. He's our one of our main go-to live brass players. But the thing about with live brass is, like, on some songs, like, I have to have it, and other songs like this one, I don't want it. Like, for example, on Colosseum Blues, we can't speak today. Colosseum Blues, we use Jeffrey to do saxophones and trumpets, and it's a blues, and so he can slide and Last of the Red Dots. Oh, he just killed on that.
Killed it.
But on this
Way to go, Jeff.
song, ba-da-da-da-da-ba-da, like it's very rhythmic because I'm a very rhythmic person, and so I needed absolute precision that I could literally go in and draw if I had to. Because the thing is, like like you'll see in a moment, this horn arrangement, it's fairly complicated. And the other thing is, it would be a lot for him to do. Like, it would be just too much in a way. So I decided to do it myself with, and the thing is, I mean, this is not your grandfather's saxophone. That's for darn sure. So anyway, this thing goes around your head, and then you plug it in, and then all of a sudden you got yourself a saxophone. So let's see here. Where do we have here? There we go. slide. You can growl as well, which is always fun. Where are we here?
You're a magician, man. That's just magic.
Ah. There you go. You get that growl if you lean back your head.
Wow.
Oh, you can also, here we go. So as you can see, like, we can do very detailed and very live, realistic sounding. And the thing is, like, these, you know, the recordings that these samples are based on, I mean, they're just perfect. And the players that provided these sounds, they're perfect. And the technology to be able to control it using your breath and head gestures, I mean, it's really unparalleled. Anyway, let me show you. I'll show you a little bit here of the horn arranging, and specifically that baritone sax, man. I gotta have my Barry. Gotta get that baritone in there. So here, I mean, you can see also just like how much there is. There's just like a lot of brass in here. So yeah, this would have been hard to ask Jeffrey to do. Dynamics. Oh yeah, then right here, towards the end over here, there's a nice little part as well.
There you go, I'll always follow you.
Anyway, so these are the horn arrangements, and as I mentioned, you know, Julio on the guitars, just kind of, you know, subtle. Right? Just smooth, just nice voicings. And we went with a clean guitar sound, like really clean. Wonderful. And then he laid down live bass as well. Right? And we just, you know, some piano on top, just to fill out the chords and whatnot. And then, you know, so yeah, just, I had a lot of fun with this arrangement. It was a lot of fun. And then for Pascal's voice, like, again, he's the most consistent singer I've ever known. I did do a fair amount of processing on his voice.
Laugh for me.
So there's quite a bit of reverb there. So I have this 2-second algorithmic reverb here. I also have this plate reverb, which simulates, you know, a plate reverb, which is like a really ancient form of reverb. I have a second plate. I mean, I got 2 plates on there, so I'm doing quite a bit. I have the H3000 on there, which is the micro pitch shifter. I'm speaking in technology Z's. Forgive me for those that don't speak. And then finally, another algorithmic on top of all of it. And this is the PDP room, Pascal Dennis Project room. And this is literally, I use it on every one of his, no, almost every single one. And if I just mute all the other ones, you can really hear, because this really has a character to it.
Laugh for me. Spent my younger days seeking shelter.
You know, and then if I take it off.
Laugh for me. Spent my younger days seeking shelter.
Turn it back on, and you know, it really fills out his vocal sound.
Yeah.
And then of course I'm using, these are, you know, Abbey Road techniques of EQing the reverbs so that, you know, we don't get low resonance in the reverb chamber. It's not very, it just makes your mix feel like really muddy and cluttered. So yeah, just doing sort of standard housekeeping, I suppose, for vocal production. The other usual stuff you might expect: de-essers, compressors, general EQ, and you know, that's about it.